Fear Street is here on Netflix as of July 2nd, 2021, and we have gotten our first look into part 1 of the more adult-themed R.L. Stine series movie adaptation. If this is your genre, the hype was real, and no doubt you've seen the ads plastered all over the place or have heard about it somewhere in social media or from your friend group. And if you were like me, you probably fell into it and got really excited for it. But it wasn't long in the movie before I realized we were gonna have major issues with this one, and that's what we're here to talk about. But for those of you that don't know what Fear Street actually is or what it's about, here's a quick rundown. Fear Street is a new 3-part movie series that is based off of the popular book series from the 90s of the same title. This was author of Goosebumps R.L. Stine's more teen-oriented book line, which contained more adult themes and more violence, leading towards popular slasher movies of the times. There were 51 titles in all of the original line, with many more sprawling from it. This Netflix series isn't really a direct copy off of any of the books previously made, but more so taking the ideas, the tropes, the themes, and making it into a more modern adult-themed Goosebumps. And that's great, that's exactly what I wanted. This series will have 3 movies in total, all taking place at different points of time. 1994 for part 1, 1978 for part 2, and 1666, I see what you did there, for part 3, each releasing on the Friday following the last movie. Fear Street wasn't total trash, there was some redeeming qualities to it, but that's not what we're here to talk about. Here's what I could not stand about this movie. Who the hell did the lighting for this thing? Do you remember the first time you watched Daredevil, for those of you unfortunate enough to have sat through that travesty? It was like, what the hell is going on? I literally can't see. This movie had absolutely terrible lighting. This wasn't for mood or anything like that. You can still create mood with these neon lights that are so popular these days and still be able to see what the hell is going on. I literally checked the TV settings twice while watching this movie to make sure that I wasn't going insane or that my TV was broken. It was just poor lighting from the get-go and very, very important scenes that could have been very powerful, but they just floundered due to lack of visibility. The second thing I could not stand about Fear Street was the soundtrack. Hey, remember when Guardians of the Galaxy was so successful in marketing its movie with popular songs that you and your parents would know? How about we do the same thing and make more money by pandering to our nostalgia-hungry audience? How about we just throw in a shit ton of popular songs from the 90s to cover up for the fact that we can't establish mood properly with our shitty lighting? Sorry, I thought I was over that point. This movie tries so freaking hard to sell you on nostalgia, it's disgusting. Maybe they got the memo that 80s nostalgia is played out and we need to jump ahead 10 years so it doesn't get whack. I mean, I don't mind this in small doses, but damn do they go hard on this one. There's moments in this movie where they don't even let a major part of a song play out. They basically play 15 seconds in one scene, immediately jump to another scene, which immediately jumps to another popular song from the 90s. No fading in or out, no transitions, no nothing. Come on, even every shitty DJ in my hometown knows how to use a crossfader and understands this technique. And this happens tons of times. They literally just try to cram as many songs as they possibly can into the shortest amount of time just to be like, hey, you remember this song? You like this one, right? No, okay, here, how about this one? Did you like this one? Well, I do like Portishead and I'm a huge Beth Gibbons fan, so thank you for at least putting Sour Times in there. Ultimately, the whole chunk of this movie felt like coming home from a club being the designated driver with a car full of drunk friends all fighting over what song to play on the radio. Come on, Fear Street, you're better than this. Point number 3. These characters are awful, save the main character Dina's younger brother. Dina gets everyone killed in an attempt to rescue her ex-partner who is in love with her now, just almost immediately after her boyfriend got stabbed through the chest just a little bit in the movie, and now the hormones are running high as they're running around getting chased by ghosts. And because of this, Dina's friends are hopeless. That's not the only reason Dina's friends are hopeless. Her guy friend is a total idiot. He has no purpose in this movie other than bobbing from scene to scene, acting and babbling like a total moron. There's no depth to him. I'm almost glad that he died. Dina's other friend, who is somehow a pharmaceutical high school drug lord, but can't divide about 30 pills by 4 into baggies to sell to her customers, so she has to hire 2 kids that she's babysitting to do so. What the hell was that? I just don't see a point other than this whole bit, other than glorifying drug use and drug selling to teens. My next and final point, number 4. Who is this movie even for? Is it for teens? No, because in theory, it has an R rating. Is it for adults? I mean, I guess, but I mean, these shitty teenagers are at the forefront of the story, and this is a high school drama. Either way, what audience are you trying to hit by showing these 2 teenagers basically have sex on screen? I know it wasn't very graphic or over the top or there was a ton of skin shown, but ultimately this just made me feel uncomfortable as I'm watching two teenagers, two high schoolers, grind on each other and basically have sex. Ultimately, it felt weird and uncomfortable, and not like the time where her friend got her head ran through a bread slicer, which was probably one of the best parts about this movie. Alright, now that I've gotten that off of my chest, there are some things that I did like about this movie. The idea of the story of the witch, which will be dipping its toes into all three of these movies as a connecting force, I think is super interesting, and I can't wait to see more of that factor. I thought the settings and the overall plot was okay, but there was just too much nonsense to get distracted by. I think this movie stood in its own way of being a legitimate horror piece. Everything was there for it to be successful. They had all of the different components. They just used some too much, didn't use some at all, or just barely used the ones that worked. Thank you all for watching me rant about Fear Street 1994, part 1 of this 3-movie series. If you like this video, make sure you click that like and subscribe button down below, or you can hop onto any of our live streams multiple times a week and talk to us about what you thought about this video or this movie. We stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 7 to 10 on Twitch, and we'd be more than happy for you to tell us that we are wrong, but you still like us anyway. So once again, I am your host, Larry Downs, for another movie review presented by Nightmare Fuel Streaming. So until the next time, we'll see you in the sequel.